First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer.
How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Chair Talk. Guys, Corrections 1 sent out a great question to me. It's two questions. One is, what were the challenges that you had to face in 2019, and what are the challenges to come in the next decade? So I went to my group of experts, and they sent me their videos. Videos are too long, so I can't put it all in one video, so I'm going to give each person their own video. It's better that way, because the other way was over an hour, because there's a lot to discuss. So I'm going to do mine. I'm going to do the first video, and everybody's going to have a perspective. I just want to explain before we go into my video that I want to be positive over the next decade. I want to motivate people to be in this profession. We know that there are concerns, but I'm going to look to see where the positive was, where the positive can be. And that's harder to look for, especially in a profession like this. But trust me, when you look for the positive, more people get attracted to that. And that's what I'm going to showcase. And I'll explain a little more when I come back from our sponsor of why I feel that's needed. But again, I'm going to focus a little bit on the positive, but there's going to be some other perspectives there that are just as important. And I want us to listen to them. William Young's got a great perspective on staffing. Connie's got perspectives on the civilian side of things. And Russ is always moving forward, giving us something very, very inventive, but so much needed. So when we come back from our sponsor, I'm going to give you my answer to these two questions. Where were we in 2019? Where can we be in the next decade? But I've been thinking of the positive, and that positive is going to bring about motivation. That's what I'm looking for. So guys, if you haven't, the show Chair Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections, so please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. Stand by for our sponsor. When we come back, I'm going to give you my answer to those two great questions. Stand by.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. You know, it's a great question that Nancy Perry from Corrections 1 asked. You know, what are the challenges in 2019? And then where do you see the field going? Or what are the challenges that are going to present to you in the next decade in corrections? And I didn't realize how hard that second question was to answer. I didn't realize that until I gave it to someone I trust, and then they came back and said, I don't know how to answer that, or I can't answer that. It's too long of a time frame. So then I went back to revisit how I was going to try to answer it, and I realized something, thanks to the influence, was that I was picturing the next 10 years, the next decade, based on hope. Like where I hope this profession to be, and maybe not necessarily the course that it's on. And I actually don't think that's a negative thing. I want to motivate people to be in this profession. I do. But I don't want to lie to them either. So there's a balance. Like, how do you motivate people when there's so much negative stuff happening in that environment? Is you got to dig through it all to find the positive. You have to, even amongst the negative. And it doesn't minimize the negative. It just lets people know that there's something there worth fighting for, I guess. Yeah, that's it. There's something there worth fighting for. And one of the big concerns that we had in 2019 was that we were losing a lot of experienced staff. I mean, it's not even just about being understaffed. We were losing experienced staff. So the question on my mind when I'm doing a video like this is that I don't want to be another cause for that. I don't want to scare people to the point that no one wants to come into this profession. So I want to let them know, yeah, we know these concerns exist, but here's what's happening. And I think in 2019, we started to see changes happening with newfound partnerships. Look at Arizona. Arizona has a lot of safety concerns going on right now, and it's been brought to the forefront by the Arizona Correctional Peace Officer Association. But guys, look who they partnered with. They partnered with Ground Prison Reform. It's a partnership that, yeah, it's sad to see that it had to come out of such a negative working environment, such a dangerous working environment. But that partnership is a beautiful thing, because that partnership is starting to see where that balance is. And even though that these concerns, they have to be addressed, I don't want people to overlook the potential of this working partnership that's going to help address those concerns. And I'm going to say, bravo to Arizona. You're pioneering something that I've been probably talking about for years now. You know, the changes that are happening in corrections, either we get left behind or we find a way to be involved with it. And you guys found a way. And bravo. You know, that's, I was watching the video. Everybody from Arizona was sending me this video, and I watched it. It was about a half an hour. It's on Facebook. I think you can go to their page, the Arizona Correctional Peace Officer Association. You got to watch the video. But take note, the partnership that's going to start moving things forward. That partnership where one group has a platform, a venue, and they're allowing the other group in. And we need that. We definitely need that. So in 2019, even though we were going through the negative, I could also see that there are people making those changes, getting their voices heard, a lot more than I've ever seen before. A lot more than I've ever seen before. And it started with that working partnership. It started by saying, hey, we're together on this. So how do we push this forward? How do we survive? We. Not me, not you, but we. And again, Arizona brought we to the table. We all should watch that just to kind of understand, first off, what they're going through. Definitely got to get those concerns out there. But their unique path in trying to solve it. So in 2019, there's my hope that these concerns start coming out to the table, and that you have advocates that we would never think would advocate for us, but they're starting to see that the worlds are kind of together, a package, and they're trying to address it in a manner that is beneficial to both sides. So 2019, I'll say that was a good focus for me, and Arizona will be my the way I can justify that, by saying, hey, these changes are happening. Take a look at this partnership. And thank you guys for sending me that video. Very powerful video. Again, I looked into it a little bit deeper, but well done. So the next question, where do I see us in the next decade? Man, you know, it's funny because I had a path I needed to take on this, or I wanted to take on this, but then I kind of got a little off when someone said it's not that easy of a question to answer, which I needed that wake up. So then it causes me to revisit and kind of explain to you guys that I know we're on a course, but I'm seeing the positive. I'm hoping that the positive continues, and then eventually that positive grows. So I'm going to stay with that positive. I'm going to try to motivate people to see that there's good, and that even though you got to fight for it, because I mean, right now corrections is like a phoenix. You know, I would like to think that we're going to rise above the ashes, and it's so easy to point the negative, and yes, we have to fight to find something positive, but it's worth fighting for. So I don't want to do a video that just stresses on the negative, because it's like I've given up, and I'm not going to give up on this profession. This is a reason for what I do. Pass the positive message. But in the course of me doing this channel, I have motivated a lot of people to take this job. And I want to continue to do that. I think that's what's going to be one of my legacies, if you will, is that maybe not such on a grand scale, but we've had understaffed concerns, and through Tier Talk, I can show you how many people have said, hey, Gangi, you motivated me to be in corrections. I never thought of it as a good career until I watched your show. And there's a lot of people that have sent me those types of messages. So in the process of getting our message out, I have tried my best, I guess, to balance, staffing concerns, I guess. I don't know. But qualified. I mean, to take the time and watch my channel and watch my videos. I mean, I didn't have access like that. I mean, look at the community we got. I mean, these people that are coming in, if they're watching this channel, they're coming in a lot better than I ever was. The information that's provided here by me, by the community, by all of us. That's pretty cool. That tells you a lot about the person that wants to come in. And that kind of leads me into where I feel we're going to be in the next decade. And I hope we agree with this hope. I'm not looking for naysayers, because we know what the negative is. But I choose to remain in this profession because there's going to be a positive eventually. So let's continue with the positive. So my thing is, I feel like partnerships that are happening in Arizona, maybe they're the pioneer for it. I'd like to see other people utilize that with their concerns. I could see that happening on a greater level. And I could see us finally meeting that middle ground, that balance between safety and security and rehabilitation. Because we know one is happening. So we have to kind of showcase it as a package deal. Like, you cannot forget about one. They coexist. And I think we're going to see that in 2020. I think you're going to see people working from the inside to better the relationships between the providers and the custody staff, those that provide safety and security. I'll be partnered with somebody in doing that myself. And the reason why we're doing that is because one thing is it just creates a better working environment, helps the mission, yes, but also gives us a bigger voice. Working together is a lot better than working independently from each other. So I definitely think that partnership is going to grow, and we're going to make the effort to make it grow. And that will get safety and security involved in a lot of the changes that will bring about the balance to this working relationship. I would also like to think that we'll finally get the recognition for the work we do. I think that once we go to address these concerns and we start to open these doors, we'll get an honest take of the hard work, the blood, the sweat and tears that the individuals that work behind the wall go through every day. It's tough because people don't see what we do, and they accept whatever political agenda is on the news. But one day we may say, hey guys, doors are open. Take a look. And you guys will be totally blown away. The public will. It's going to be so much for them to comprehend, because for so many years they have thought one way. And we're going to show them a world that's not what they think. A world that really is focused on preparing people to be better. And all the different people that are involved. So, I mean, there is going to be that switch towards re-entry, but it's like I've always thought that we were always doing that. So it's like when someone comes up and says, it's time you're doing it, or it's time to start. It's like, yeah, but what makes you think we weren't doing it? Well, because you signed your paper, your name on it, that passes this law, doesn't mean that work wasn't being done. It just means you want your name on it. And unfortunately, that's the way the world works. But I can guarantee you, some of the things that people think are new, they're not new. We've been doing them for years. It's just someone decides to claim it as their own. And that's the BS of politics. But also for my brave men and women that are correctional officers, and yes, they're officers, I think their respect is going to go up. And I think it's going to start from the inside. I think it's going to start when they're working with those providers, and then finding that partnership, kind of moving away from whatever the conflicts are that they may have with that other side. And then the fight that comes from the inside will manifest its way to the outside. And I really do think that the respect that we're going to get is going to start from the inside first. Because it would be great, man, to have a concern, and then when you go to bring it up, next to you is a medical professional or a social service provider. So, you know, when Nancy asked this question, she chose the word challenging, and I took the word challenging to mean the same as difficult. So difficult, I just found out recently, doesn't run parallel with challenge. Challenge actually has a level of hope, means that something can be overcome. And if anybody can overcome any challenge, it's definitely those that work in corrections. And I think that word challenging led me to this, the hope side of what I'm trying to present. And I want to thank somebody for bringing that up, showing me that there's a difference between challenge and difficulty. And the person, when she sees this video, she'll know who that is. So it's pretty cool. And I guess in the end, the next decade, very hard to predict. But I would like to see a great working relationship, recognition for this great field, and just when we have concerns, we're heard. And we have that partnership to make changes that are positive happen. A good working relationship that completes the mission of the agency without sacrificing one side over the other. That's it. That's my hope. Put it out there. And we could be a part of it. We could be a part of it, because this is the time for change and corrections. If ever you were to be in corrections right now, I know we're going through the struggle, but on the lighter side of things, we're changing too. We're changing. So you could be a pioneer like Arizona, and you could put your name on something that you'll be remembered for. You know, that's pretty cool, I think. All right, guys, the show is Tier Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. And guys, I will have more videos coming up shortly from William Young, Connie Eileen, and Russ Hamilton, giving me their thoughts on 2019 and the next decade. As always, guys, stay safe.